Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick, KyogreKauai, and we are here for a brand new draft league. You can see here we got the draft analysis screen up. You know that means we're hopping into a new draft league, never before seen. This is the very first inaugural season for the RCF, Randomized Chaos Factory. Before I go any further, leave a like here down on the video. If you are hyped for a new draft league, please do consider subscribing if you're new and you like Pokemon content, or if you want to wait and see if you like the video and subscribe after, just keep in mind subscribing and liking the videos help me out a ton. So with that out of the way, yeah, let's talk about this RCF, Randomized Chaos Factory. This league was put together by some close friends of mine. It's run by SlightliSalti and W3S7 with Monkferno as well. All three of them are working together and have created this league. It's a randomized draft league. So first of all, if you don't know what a draft league is, it's a Pokemon competitive league where there's a certain amount of coaches. It can always vary, but there's a set amount of coaches, and every coach gets 11 Pokemon. And essentially, once a Pokemon is drafted, it can't be drafted by another player. So that means everybody's got 11 Pokemon on their draft, their squad, and those are the only Pokemon they are allowed to use for the battles. There's weekly battles once per week. You're up against a new opponent every week. And after the regular season, however many weeks that is, it goes on to a kind of championship. And in this league, we have 8 weeks, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 12 coaches. So 12 coaches, 8 weeks, and then playoffs after that, where I believe the top 8, yeah, the top 8 go to playoffs. And yeah, so out of 12, top 8 go to playoffs, and then they battle it out in like a bracket style tournament to determine the champion of the league. And that's essentially how it works. But what makes this different than other draft leagues is, as I mentioned, it's randomized. In a normal draft league, standard draft league I should say, coaches pick their 11 Pokemon themselves in a draft. But in this league, it's pure chaos. Everything about this league is meant to be chaotic and crazy and fun. So to start things off, we were given randomized draft picks. We did not have any say in our Pokemon. They were randomly selected from a spin wheel in different categories. So as you can see here on my screen, 3 Pokemon came from the bottom tier, tier 4, and it goes from worst to best up to the top. So tier 4 are considered the weakest Pokemon. And these tiers came from Smogon. If you play Smogon Pokemon Showdown, if you know what that is, the tiering ranking system is taken kind of off, was based generally off that, I believe, with some tweaks. So essentially, 3 Pokemon come from tier 4, 4 Pokemon come from tier 3, 2 Pokemon come from tier 2, 1 Pokemon from tier 1, and 1 from Gmax. And again, they were all randomized. And before our week 1 battle, which has not happened yet, we were also given the choice to re-roll or re-randomize one of our Pokemon into something else remaining from that category. So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what Pokemon I was randomized. We're going to find out if I decided to re-roll, re-randomize any of my picks, or if I just wanted to leave it as is. So without further ado, I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about ahead of time. Big shout outs to, again, the creators of this league. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. Looking forward to this league, going into it with a positive mentality, hopefully going to do as best as I can, but above all else, looking to have fun. So without further ado, we are going to jump right in here and see our first pick. So first up, I'm going to go from bottom to top, just to this is how the draft happened. And yeah, first pick. Let's take a look. From tier 4, our first randomized Pokemon is Braviary. A normal flying type Pokemon, has the abilities Keen Eye, Sheer Force, and Defiant. Sheer Force and Defiant are generally considered its best abilities. Sheer Force giving it an extra power boost. Defiant making it so it cannot be intimidated if my opponent has like an Intimidate Pokemon I want to specifically counter. Braviary is It's a pretty decent Pokemon. It's generally considered, I think, better in double battle VGC than single battles. And if I haven't mentioned, the battles that will be taking place between the coaches each week for this league will be mainly, I'll explain, most of the time will be single battles, so one Pokemon out on either opponent's side at a time, 6v6. So out of these 11 Pokemon that we have, we are only allowed to bring 6 of them each week. But we can change up which 6 we want to bring depending on the certain matchup against what our opponent has, essentially. So this is a singles league primarily, so Braviary isn't considered better in singles. It's more good in doubles. It gets access to move like Tailwind, and again, being immune to Intimidate is good for on the double side of things. But in singles, it can just hit pretty hard with that Sheer Force ability. So looking at some things it can do, Sheer Force. You could run Life Orb with Sheer Force because that gives you the power boost of Life Orb without the negative recoil. And it's good physical attacking moves. It gets access to the new move Dual Wing Beat, Close Combat, Bravebird. It does get access to Agility to boost its speed, Defog to get rid of hazards. And a good coverage moves like Rock Slide again, Superpower, Shadow Claw, Zen Headbutt. So it's got decent coverage moves. U-turn for pivoting around, but it's not the fastest. But it also has some decent bulk with like a base 100 HP stat and decent defensive stats of 75 each. But mainly is kind of a bulky attacker, but with maybe like an agility set to boost its speed, could potentially have some sweeping capabilities. Also does get Hone Claws to boost its attack as well. That's enough about Braviary. On to our next Pokemon. Our next Tier 4 pick was Whimsicott. So again, Whimsicott, I was kind of getting Pokemon that are generally considered better in doubles. It does have the Chlorophyll ability as well as the Prankster and Infiltrator ability. All good abilities, honestly, that do different things. So it could allow me to really have a flexible Pokemon here with Whimsicott. And then has really good moves too. Endeavor, Defog, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, Giga Drain, Knockoff, Hurricane, just got that. Leech Seed. Can be a very annoying defensive Pokemon. It's got Cotton Guard, everything. Just everything you'd really want it to do, it can definitely do. Whew, excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. I kind of got the hiccups here. Sorry about that. Just getting excited talking about Pokemon. I always do get excited talking about Pokemon, but really, I could go on all day talking about what things Whimsicott can do. It's honestly a really solid Pokemon, no matter what. It's just because it's of its versatility, and I find that a Pokemon that is has more versatility and can do more things is better in Draft League, maybe compared to normal Pokemon, because you can customize it specifically week to week, and you can specifically customize it to counter your opponent if you can. So definitely a cool Pokemon. Definitely excited to give it a try and see what we can make happen with it. So up next, our third Pokemon is Colossal. I was happy with this because as of this point, we have no repeating types. Normal Flying type Braviary, Grass Fairy type Whimsicott. Now we have Rock and Fire type with Colossal. A little bit more bulky of a Pokemon and slower. Good defense and HP. Has cool abilities such as Flame Body, Flash Fire, and Steam Engine. Steam Engine being that you can switch in on a fire or water type attack and try to take it and get the plus it boosts your speed to maximum speed, so it actually makes it quite fast when it gets that speed boost. But other than that, it has pretty decent offensive coverage with ground, rock, fire, fighting, steel type attacks that it can use. It also has some supportive moves such as Reflect and also hazard control such as Stealth Rock, and also more support moves like Will-O-Wisp and such like that. So definitely excited to use Colossal. It's a solid. Main thing is I'm happy to have a Stealth Rocker and have more diverse typing on the team. That's really all I have to say about Colossal. It's not as versatile as some of the other Pokemon here so far. So it does what it does basically well, but that's about it. So next up on the list, moving out of the tier 4s and into our first tier 3 pick, we have Slurpuff, and I was honestly ecstatic, very, very excited to have Slurpuff on the draft. if you don't know, Slurpuff, it's kind of a one-trick pony, but its one trick is honestly really good. Unburden. So the main set for Slurpuff is like Belly Drum, Unburden, which essentially, to explain that a little bit better, Belly Drum cuts your attack, cuts your HP in half, so you lose half your health, and then you get maximum speed. I believe it's maximum speed, or no, you get maximized attack. And how that works is if you use that with like a citrus berry, it gets 25% of the HP back, so it's at 75% HP. Once Slurpuff eats the berry, then that Unburden ability kicks in, which means it gets double speed. So it's 2 times speed and 4 times its attack stat. So that means it is really, really good at sweeping through teams if it can get set up properly. And then it has moves such as Drain Punch and Play Rough. Drain Punch being good coverage to hit steel types that it can't with Play Rough and get that HP back. So that's really all you need is Play Rough, Drain Punch, Belly Drum, and then you could run one other physical attacking move, such as like Facade in case you get burned or poisoned. But it also can be a special attacker with Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast. It does have good special coverage. It has moves like Energy Ball, Flamethrower, Surf, and Thunder, and Thunderbolt. Also has Wish, Toxic, Amnesia, Charm, stuff like that. It has some supportive things, so it's pretty much can either be, actually is more, looking at its moveset is more diverse than I thought. So it's got good support, Wish and Aromatherapy. It's got good special attacking options with great special coverage moves and Calm Mind to boost up its special attack and special defense. And then it's got the standard Belly Drum, Drain Punch, and Play Rough set. So excited to have Slurpuff on the team. I think there's lots of fun options we can use, and hopefully we'll do well with it. Moving on to our 5th Pokemon and our second one of the Tier 3 category, we got Obstagoon. So I have never actually really used Obstagoon. I had it before, but ended up trading it away in another league, in the IBA Season 1.5, which was similar to this and actually the inspiration for this league. So I never actually gotten a chance to use Obstagoon to its full potential, I'll say, or really any potential. Like I said, I've never used it. So, but it's really good. It's got 3 really good abilities. Again, Reckless and Guts. Reckless means it can do more damage with moves that have recoil, such as Double Edge. I don't think it has doesn't get Wild Charge. I wish it got Wild Charge. That'd be cool. But it has Guts, so you can run Flame Orb and Guts, which means when your Pokemon is status, its attack stat is 1.5. And it also means it's immune to being burned. So you can't lower Obstagoon's attack by burning it. So pretty cool. And then it's essentially just a physical attacker. That's what it does. It's pretty bulky, and it has a decent amount of speed, honestly. Base 95 speed, base 101 defense, and 93 HP with a 90 attack stat. If you do things like bulk up or doesn't have Swords Dance, but if you do like a bulk up set with Flame Orb, it can actually be pretty decently bulky and do a lot of damage. So it's a bulky physical attacker that actually has decent speed, which doesn't often happen. So different moves, you could run Life Orb, Choice Band, Expert Bell, Focus Sash. You could run a lot of stuff. It's got good coverage moves too, such as Gunk Shot, Fire Punch, all the elemental punches, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. It's got great coverage moves, so it is good for being a strong attacker, being that it has so much coverage, it has ways to boost its attack, and its stats are definitely not lacking. The big thing it has going against it is its 4 times weakness to fighting type attacks. I think that's all I need to say here about Obstagoon. That pretty much covers all that I think I could say about it. Next up, we have another physical attacker coming out of our Tier 3 randomized picks, and we have Durant. So Durant is pretty much has the ability Hustle, which means its attacks are already at 1.5 power, but its accuracy is at 0.8. So it trades accuracy for power. So typically you could run this just hoping to get as much damage off. You could also run an item to slightly boost up that accuracy to try to make up for that, keep the power, but not lose as much accuracy. But it does get, well, its main thing is it gets Hone Claws. So Hone Claws, if you don't know what that does, it boosts the Pokemon's attack, but also its accuracy. So after 1 Hone Claws, its accuracy is back to normal, and its attack is also at +1. So Durant's goal is to do a lot of damage with Hone Claws, and pretty much has a lot of good coverage moves. Has Dark, has Bug, Normal, steel type, rock, ghost type attacks, ground type attacks, fighting type attacks, even some other, weaker but other coverage moves. So, but it's fast. It's a base 109 speed and a base 109 attack. It's also got really high physical defense. So the only thing you really have to worry about is special, like fire type attacks. Those, that's really what just destroys Durant, being 4 times weak to fire. But other than that, it's a fast. The rest of my team has been kind of slow. So happy to get something a little bit faster on my team. Fast, powerful, hard-hitting Pokemon with Durant. Definitely have a lot more offense than I do defense on my team. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Next up here we got Chandelure in our last of our 4 tier 3s. So Chandelure is really, really good. Definitely was happy with it. But I did end up re-rolling it, and it kind of has to do with what I got later on in the rest of the draft. So, but I'll just tell you now, I ended up re-rolling Chandelure, not because it's not good, but because I ended up getting a different ghost type later on, kind of a spoiler for a later pick, and I already had a fire type with Colossal. So it might be weird to get rid of a Chandelure. Chandelure is a really good Pokemon, but it did share a lot of features with other Pokemon I already have. It's a really powerful special attacker, so maybe it wasn't a great idea to get rid of it, but it'll kind of make sense a little bit later. But anyway, I ended up replacing it and got Milotic instead, which is cool. I'm happy with that replacement because Milotic helps me out more on the defensive side of things. And I didn't have any defensive Pokemon really up until this point. Marvel Scale can boost. It means its defense gets boosted if it gets statused. Competitive means it really can, counter intimidate Pokemon. Also has Cute Charm, which can be just annoying as well. But it's really bulky on the special side. Also has Coil to boost its attack and defense. And it can do like Coil. Also, because that boosts attack, defense, and accuracy, and then things like Hypnosis, Coil Hypnosis, has Flip Turn, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Magic Coat, Reflect, Light Screen, stuff like that. Maybe not Reflect, actually just Ice, Light Screen. Dragon Pulse, so it's got pretty decent coverage moves. It can be a special attacker, or it can be like a defensive tank kind of thing with Recover, Rest, Sleep Talk, Toxic. It can be kind of an annoying stall Pokemon. And that's really all it is. It's either a special attacker or it's bulky and support. So that's really all, but I think it'll be a good addition to the team, and it's good type. It's good to have a water type on the team for sure. Now our first Pokemon from the Tier 2 category, one of 2 that we get from Tier 2, and it is Excadrill. So if you've been following along in ABL Season 4, you know I'm a big fan of Excadrill. I've been using it all season in that league, and it's really good. It is really good in singles too, as well as doubles. Maybe even better in singles than in doubles, because it's got Mold Breaker, so it means it can hit things that normally, like things that have Levitate, such as Rotom Wash, Rotom Heat, can be hit by super effective moves that are ground type. It can ignore that ability, Levitate, or really any ability. It can ignore Mimikyu's Disguise and stuff like that. So Excadrill is just really good. It's got Swords Dance, it's got Rapid Spin, it can boost its attack, it can boost its speed, it can get rid of hazards, and then it's got good coverage moves. You guys know what Excadrill does, but it's a really great fast physical attacker. Especially if you have a way to set up the Sandstorm, which my team doesn't have an automatic way to set up the Sandstorm, but either way, it's great with just Mold Breaker, and it's a good Pokemon. It's just a really, really powerful Pokemon. And next up in Tier 2, we have Gengar. So this was the other reason I mentioned earlier that I got rid of Chandelure for Milotic. I had a Gengar and I had a Colossal that had the Fire and Ghost type coverage. I really honestly wanted a Water type, so I was happy when I re-rolled Chandelure and got the Milotic. So, and again, this was the reason why, because at that point in time when I made that decision, excuse me, my nose is so itchy, I knew what all my Pokemon were. So we got Gengar. Again, our team is really hyper-offensive. Looking at it, kind of in this post-draft analysis review, I'm seeing how not bulky my team is, and it's really hyper-offensive. So dealing with stally teams might be difficult, and I have to think of some creative strategies to maybe break through stall-type Pokemon. and I'm not going to be able to take a lot of hits with these fragile Pokemon. But Gengar has an amazing speed stat of 110 and special attack stat of 130. It hits hard. It can nasty plot. It can do a lot of damage. It can also Destiny Bond, disable. It can be annoying as well, but with like those sort of support type techs. But other than that, it's essentially just a special attacker. But does get access to things such as Will-O-Wisp and Toxic and Taunt. So got some interesting options with Gengar for sure. Always been a solid Pokemon. Never upset to have Gengar on the team. Second to last are Uber. These are technically Uber, like legendary Pokemon. They weren't all legendaries, but most legendaries came from tier 1. Here we go. We got Necrozma Dawn Wings. Honestly, not my favorite. And again, I had this, so I didn't want 3 ghost types on the team. That's another reason I got rid of Chandelure here. But Necrozma is really good because it has Prism Armor, which means it receives less damage from super effective attacks. Because it is 4 times weak to dark, which is pretty bad. But it's a good Pokemon. It definitely has, it's just really crazy bulky and high special attack. And can Calm Mind, Autonomize. So it has a way of boosting itself up. I mean, I could talk about this thing for days. It's got great coverage moves. It's got Rock Polish, Calm Mind. It really has even physical coverage moves as well as the special coverage moves. Dragon Dance, Autonomize. Crazy. Honestly, I'm surprised. Its special move is Moongeist Beam, 100 base power, 100% accurate ghost type move that ignores abilities, so does a ton of damage. Just a solid Pokemon, but definitely not the best legendary out there, being it's kind of slow and has a big 4 times weakness, but definitely excited to see what I can do with it. And last but not least, here we have our G-Max Pokemon, Orbeetle. G-Max Orbeetle is our pick. Not my favorite, not my best, not what I would have wanted for my G-Max, but it does have its special move when it Gigantamaxes. Its Psychic type moves become G-Max Gravitas, and G-Max Gravitas does some pretty cool things where it sets up Gravity, and Gravity makes attacks more accurate, so that actually does pair well with my Durant. If I can set up the Gravity and have Durant take advantage of that Gravity, then also moves like Hypnosis are more accurate. Orbeetle, Gengar, and Milotic all get Hypnosis. So I definitely can do some annoying things, but other than that, it gets the ability Frisk, so I can see my opponent's items. It's really bulky, so you can do things such as Iron Defense and Calm Mind to boost its defenses even higher. It definitely likes boosting stats because it has the access to the move Stored Power. So getting boosts means essentially that's what Stored Power does. The more you have stat boosts, the more damage that move does. It gets plus 20 power for every stat boost, and it caps, I don't know where it caps, but it caps pretty high. It can become a very powerful move with all those stat boosts. So I've definitely been shut down. I got beat by an Orbeetle in IBA Season 1. It was on Wes's team, I think. So I do know some fun stuff you can do with Orbeetle, and I think it'll be fun to use because it has a lot of different options. So definitely excited to give it a try. There is the draft. That covers everything. Again, we made that one swap to get Milotic, and I think that gives our team really, really good options. We have Fire, Water, Grass, Core. We have Steel. We don't have any Dragon types, which is interesting. No Dragon types. We have Fairy and Steel, but no Dragon. Yeah, no Dragon types, which is definitely interesting and not great, because Dragon types are really good to have, but definitely not 100% needed. So this is what we're working with. It's all randomized. It's going to be crazy. The other thing to know about this league is there's going to be power-ups. Power-ups, each week every coach gets a power-up, and there's things where you can re-roll another one of your own Pokemon. You can force another coach to re-roll one of their Pokemon. You can force a trade between 2 players that are not yourself. You can... one of the rules is our Uber Pokemon, our Tier 1 Pokemon is not allowed to hold an item because they're so much more powerful than all the rest of the Pokemon. So we normally nerf that, but that's one of the power-ups is that your Uber can hold an item. You can block a single Pokemon from being used by any other coach. That's pretty cool. You can block an your opponent from using Dynamax for that match. One of the other fun ones is you can force a double battle between two coaches. So instead of a single battle, it's double battle. Definitely changes up some of the dynamics and what teams are good and what teams aren't. Some are going to be better for singles, some are going to be better for doubles. So those are some of the power-ups. I think there's going to be more to come, so definitely stay tuned. These battles will be going up, I think, starting next weekend, the 18th. I think that's when the first week is going to be uploaded. So keep an eye out next weekend, about a week from today. I think the first week's battle should be going up. But yeah, brand new Draft League, Randomized Chaos Factory. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Pokemon that I have drafted is and why. And yeah, stay tuned next week for the first week of battles. Again, 8 weeks of the regular season. And if we're in the top 8 after those 8 weeks, we go to playoffs. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.